Look, it's my first time being tagged in somebody else's YouTube video, so yeah, I'll do that. So, as the kind of lead-in implied, a Mr. TARDIS reviews video. I don't know, I can't remember now if he mentioned he was tagged by somebody else, but he talked about and he gave a story about his favorite piece of Doctor Who memorabilia. He then tagged 3 other YouTube channels to do the same, and a whole bunch of you folks alerted me to this because I actually hadn't checked my subscription feed in a little bit, so I hadn't seen it. You guys got the word out real fast. So now that's what I'm going to take a crack at. Now I'm going to put a link below for Mr. TARDIS reviews and his video. And if you've already seen that one, don't watch it first because his is way better. Like what he has and what he has to say about it is way better. Because what I realized when I stopped to think about, the Doctor Who sort of bits and merch and, memorabilia, what have you, that I have, the vast majority of it is stuff that I have just bought for myself. And nothing, I was almost going to say none of it signed. Let me back up. None of it has been signed for me. I have a couple of signed things. I have a print of David Tennant first emerging out of the TARDIS. He's still wearing the leather jacket that Eccleston had. That is signed, but that was bought that way. It's got a certificate of authenticity or whatever. But and I like that very much, but I don't have the attachment that one would have going to get something of yours signed to that. Same with, I showed these off to my patrons, supporters, but I'll tell you folks about this. One of my subscribers actually sent to me some signed postcards of the 7th Doctor and Ace, which are awesome, and I love them. Those are now safely in my my commission art portfolio. So, there's all that stuff, and I love all that stuff, but, none of it was signed for me, so I don't have a signed thing. So I don't have the same level of sentimentality involved. Now, I'm actually going to kind of cheat and talk about 2 things. Because I couldn't decide between those, and one is just something I want to show off, and then the other I think has probably has the best story, and I think ultimately if I was told you can only keep one piece of Doctor Who memorabilia, it's what I would grab. Okay, so first up, I mentioned it already. This is my art portfolio. When I go to cons, which is not something I was able to do this year, my favorite thing to do is to get commissions. I don't stand in line forever to get things signed. I've only met, a celebrity appearance once. That was Tim Curry. Totally worth it, but that's not really my thing either. I love the other people. I love the booths, the people and what they have to sell and offer. And I love going up and down Artist Alley, looking at the style that various artists have and thinking, ooh, what character would I like to see in that style? And through that, at Vermont Comic Con, I acquired this. That, my friends, that is the Silence in ink wash. And I feel like a jerk because the artist's name is suddenly slipping my mind, but I am going to link below to his stuff because he does awesome work. I've actually gotten commissions from him twice. He also did Gozer for me. And funny thing with the Silence, he's not a Doctor Who fan, so he had to look up who these guys were, but I saw him on his phone, look them up, and I could see like the wheels turning, like, ooh, yeah, I can work with that. And so I love this, because this is probably not the closest, it is the most personalized piece of Doctor Who related anything that I have. But I think ultimately at the end of the day, I've got to go with one of the sonic screwdrivers, and it is one specifically. Now, I've got the whole batch lined up there, and I want to talk specifically now about this one. This is River's sonic screwdriver, which appeared in Silence in the Library and Forest of the Dead. And this was the very first sonic screwdriver I ever got. Now, I mentioned most of the stuff that I have was bought by I bought it for me. You know, which makes it stuff that I like and is cool, but it removes a lot of sentimental attachments. I've never bought a sonic screwdriver for myself. Every single one you see up there was a gift. The majority of them, nearly all of them, were Christmas gifts. It's actually become sort of the annual stocking stuffer. I get a new sonic screwdriver, and actually thank goodness that there's a new sonic screwdriver in time for Christmas this year, because otherwise I would have run the risk of having to figure out something else to, you know, Doctor Who related to ask for, and it would have felt a little weird. But I love getting these every year, and I deeply adore the person who gives them to. It's my daughter's mother gives them to me, and still, yes, we're not together, but we still do Christmas together as a family. You know, me and her and our daughter, and she's still getting me these, and this was the first one she ever got me. And she didn't pick this because she watches Doctor Who, because she doesn't, but I singled this out. She had asked me, you know, if you could have a sonic screwdriver, what one would you want? And I said this one. And the reason being that at the time, you know, wanting to start, you know, not knowing that I was going to end up with with every single one that was available one day, I remember thinking, I want something that can feel more like mine, that could feel more like an heirloom that could have been passed to me, and less like I took, you know, the Doctor screwdriver. And there's something about Rivers. There's something about the wear on it, the look on it, the haphazard nature. You know, bits come off, and you've got the. I gotta change the battery in that. You've got the. Oh no, I don't. It still works. The little ghosting signal. That's all in there. Oh man, that takes me back. So the thrown together feel of it makes it feel like something that someone would put together and then pass on, not as like a precious heirloom, but as a, you might need this one day, here. And I always enjoyed that about this, and I always liked the design from seeing it for the very first time. And I love that this was the first sonic screwdriver that I was ever given. And you know what? We can switch it back to blue, because it's got a red setting, which is usually what I leave it on, because it makes it fairly unique among the sonic screwdrivers, except for the War Doctor. That one's red. But and there's I don't know if this will pick up. There's ever so slightly a little bit of a different tone when it switches to the red. There's a trill to it. So this is the blue. We'll see if this even picks it up. I don't know if you can kind of hear it in the background. It's a bit of a ring kind of thing to it. And I love that there's a tiny bit of difference, and I don't know if that's purposeful or not, but it's just one more little touch that makes it feel a little bit more homegrown. And as the kickoff to my acquiring Doctor Who merchandise, between which one it is, you know, who gave it to me, and it being a start of so much stuff. Yeah, I love this thing. So like I said, I cannot top Mr. TARDIS Review's story. So if you didn't watch it already, you should now watch his video, because his is better, and the thing that he has is better, and his story's amazing. So check that out. And Yeah, what the heck? I'll tag some people. If they haven't been tagged already, they might have been. I'll go ahead and tag Wingy Media and also Stu Bagful. If they feel like it. I know it's the law of the internet that you have to do it, but you know what? If you feel like it, go for it. And to round out a third, it's not going to be a YouTuber. It's going to be a friend of mine who blogs and podcasts. So, Siskoid, over at Siskoid's Blog of Geekery. If you feel like tossing this in on one of your blog post updates or adding it in as a tack on to a podcast, you know what? I would love to hear from you, my wonderful Canadian friend, about your favorite piece of Doctor Who merch, kit, whatever you've got. So, yeah, that's it. Just spontaneously made because I got tagged in other stuff. There you go. Hope that you folks liked it. And that'll wrap it up for this one. There's a whole bunch of links down there, including to the videos and the channels or the blogs of the people who I tagged. If you want to alert them that I have done so, maybe. Plus, you know, a link to Patreon and a whole bunch of other stuff. There's buttons and stuff. Click some of them. They go places. So remember, folks, you're the council. I just run the meetings. And until next time, this council is adjourned.